Thanks, Josiah. I did not tell too many people about my involvement in CASA. A lot of my silence was due to the COVID situation and my lack of contact with a lot of people. But once I did share with them, a few people, what I was doing, I got responses ranging from, oh, that figures, just because they know me and they're aware of some of the things I've done in the past. Uh, Particularly when I was a mentor for a child from grade 7 through grade 12, myself, along with my family at the time, we hosted that child for those 5 years quite frequently in terms of helping him deal with the challenges of life so that he could be successful in his academics and ultimately graduate high school. So it's things like that that people, my friends and family were aware of, which led them to not be surprised that I was involved with CASA. But it was really when the time came for this event that I made my participation more known, and people were very interested in terms of what CASA does. For the most part, people were unaware of the CASA organization in general. So by my inviting them to, and you inviting them to this event, I think a lot of eyes have been opened in terms of what the organization does, how it benefits children, as both Mie and Brandon mentioned themselves. And also the opportunity for them as individuals, the people listening in right now, to perhaps join the movement, to get involved themselves in some capacity. So there was a lot of excitement once I did share with them what the organization was about. It generated a lot of enthusiasm and interest from a number of people.
Maybe before we turn to Mia and Brandon, Dwayne, given that you have been involved as a volunteer in other ways, why did you make this a priority for your time versus other things?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, there are a lot of organizations that that promote the well-being of children. And as I explained earlier in my opening comments, I had a lifelong engagement with children in different capacities. What's unique about CASA, though, is that you get to work one-on-one, one-to-one with children. You get to actually affect the life of a child, and to me, that direct engagement is what's most satisfying and gives me the highest sense of value and contribution to the needs of others. I should mention that at one point I was invited to join the board of CASA, and when I heard more and more about what the organization does, it occurred to me that my time might be better spent, at least at this moment, in providing direct service to a child rather than doing high level, if you will, planning and strategy setting. What excited me, therefore, was the ability to actually interact with a person in such a way where maybe I can have some positive impact. And in my mind, that's what separates CASA from a lot of other organizations and why I was gravitated toward
it. Okay, thank you, Dwayne. And let's invite Brandon to comment. And I've also posed the invitation to everyone to ask questions through the chat if you'd like. So Brandon, please continue.
I agree wholeheartedly with Dwayne. I think there was a lack of awareness for the organization at first, but right away when I mentioned my involvement to friends and family, there was a great deal of interest in how they could help and how they could join in the fight against juvenile systemic problems in the juvenile justice system. I think the issues that CASA tries to solve are ones that are not really talked about in the mainstream media or the news, and it's something that can be extremely impactful in kind of reversing the course of youth development. And so now when I do share, and when I've had the opportunity to share about CASA, people want to find ways, as I said before, to just assist in any way possible. And it's a great cause. It's something that, allows you to, as Dwayne also mentioned, work one-on-one with the child and to make a visible, tangible impact in a way that you may not be able to do in other organizations. And again, I think it's something that can be beneficial for both the child and for the volunteer themselves.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. And in Mie's case, maybe he wants to say a little something about the fact that there's CASA, we said, in Utah, where he's getting involved. But in addition, his home area of Southern California, for example, CASA of Los Angeles, and really throughout the state of California, there are major CASA programs. So it's something that in a certain way he can help promote around the country. So Mie.
Yeah, so the initial reaction from friends and family were, of course, of great interest, especially from my parents and close relatives. They were really excited that I was going to be a part of something like this, especially my parents and their siblings. A lot of times they grew up with many people in their house they grew up in Nigeria. They're immigrants, and their parents would take in people, cousins, just people that are less privileged, and have them living with them. So they were used to that. So they're excited to see that I was getting involved with something similar, or just something that helps people find a home. And so I think that it's really important for the reason for having children in your home is very important. Like the actual reason you're getting involved is important, not just to have, I want to adopt or something, but having a genuine interest in helping children and making that change in their lives is the most important thing. So that's what I had, and that's why I wanted to get involved. And I think that my family and friends saw that, so it piqued their interest, and I'm hoping to spread it more as I am able to gain a voice and platform to be able to spread the works of CASA and what we do and what it's all about more globally. So.
Thank you, Mie. Yeah, really helping every child find a safe, permanent home where they're able to thrive. So Mie, since you're on the screen here, I think we have a moment to ask you to speak, if you're comfortable, a bit on your experience of being in the NBA bubble down in Orlando, and you chose to wear "Power to the People" on your jersey. That was a special opportunity that players had to connect the NBA to the cause of social justice. So what might you say to folks about that and how it relates to your concern for children and trying to make greater equality of opportunity?
So when we were told that we were able to have a social justice message on the back of our jersey, they gave us a list of phrases. It was like about a list of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Some were Black Lives Matter, ally, education reform, all that. I thought a lot of them were important, but power to the people kind of stuck out to me. I've always believed that if for change to occur, that it's going to start with the people, and whether that's changing the mindset of people, just enlisting people together and coming together and to make a change. I think that's where it all starts. So that's the main reason I wore it. And also related to CASA, it's like we also have the power to help other people at the same time. And especially as we get older, the older generation is supposed to influence the younger generation, and because the younger generation is where the change is actually going to occur, and that's what we're going to see. So it's very important to help the generation below. I mean, not just below one generation, but the next also. So the one below me, even though I'm only 23, but there's still younger kids now that are growing up, and they're seeing a lot of the change that's happening, and they're going to remember that it's going to shape their lives. So just having those right environment around them is also important. That's why that's where CASA, something like CASA comes into play. Kid maybe not understanding what's going on and everything. It's an environment where people can nurture them and actually help them understand what's going on, and then maybe they can get involved one day, and that can add someone that helps change. So you never really know what a kid's going to become, like, at the end of the day. So with Power to the People, I just think I think it's a strong message, and I didn't want to just have something on the back of my jersey that I felt wasn't a strong message. So I wish we were able to have a choice of what we put, but still, I'm glad that that was an option, and glad that I wore that.
And your team, the Jazz, is opening up its arena to serve as a voting location, from what I understand, yes?
Yeah, they're so I think all 30 NBA teams open their arenas. That was something we were for voting. I think that was something we pushed. We had a little pause in our season in August, and pushed for the owners. We pushed the owners basically to open every arena as a voting center. So I serve as the alternate rep for my team in the MBPA, the Players Association. So a lot of those meetings of about 60 guys in the NBA, we sit down and discuss certain changes that we want to see, certain demands, especially at a time like that. We weren't going to play until we saw certain demands be met. So that was one of the main ones, just to increase awareness and increase everyone's ability to be able to get their votes out and cast their votes and show their importance in society. Because with voter suppression and a lot of other stuff that goes on, it's important that people know that, okay, well, I can go here. Okay, well, this team is doing that, so maybe I become a fan of them. And, oh, why is he wearing this on the back of his jersey? So it just increases awareness for everything. So that's what we were trying to achieve with that.
Okay. Thank you, Mia. Appreciate that. And Brandon, I know that you've now spent several years going back and forth between Italy and the US, and you've traveled beyond as well. So I wonder if you wanted to comment about what you envision for CASA and young people more broadly here in Connecticut, and then, if you wish, put it into the context of your experience in Italy and elsewhere.